Hello everybody, it's Tim here again, here with another movie review, this time for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. Now this new one, it pretty much copies the style of the Spider-Verse films that recently came out. I'll go ahead and say it, the animation here is great, but it's not awesome like Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse had, like, at least across the Spider-Verse, had a lot more going on in terms of like all the colors and stuff like that they did. It was kind of just like an explosion of all the different colors and watercolor looks and everything and all the different styles they put together in one movie. This one just kind of copies kind of the base level of that, but it is still great. This is a great animated film in terms of visuals, in terms of look. I really like the animation. I like the designs for the characters as well. I'll go ahead and say it. From 1 to 4 stars, I'd give this Turtle film a 4 out of 4. This was an awesome flick. This is easily the best Turtles film, barely edging out that original Turtles film from, I believe it was like, what was it, 89 or 90? Barely edging that one out. That one's second best for me. Like, if you hear any dogs barking in the background, that's just, I'm outside. That's my dog barking down there. He barks at everything. But in terms of the Turtles film, I thought the original one was great. Secret of the Ooze was all right. It was a bit too kidified, but it was fun. I can still watch it and enjoy it. The third one is passable, one-off watch. It's not really a good movie, and for a lot of people, it's a bad movie, and I can understand why. It really isn't a good movie. It's really not even a passable movie, but I rated a low 2 stars as a passable flick, just because I'm a Turtles fan. Well, I can't, deny it. I can still have a passable time with the movie. The Michael Bay film is probably my least favorite of the live action of all the films. I'd give it a 1.5 out of 4. The animated film that did, like, I believe, like 2007, that was CGI animated, I like that one, although the villain and Stone General thing and stuff like that was weak. I'd give it like a 3 out of 4. That was before the Michael Bay one, I believe. And then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows or whatever, that one I actually really liked because it was pretty much just a direct copy of the original 80s cartoon. That one I actually did really like. It's pretty much a reboot of the Michael Bay first movie. It was pretty good, actually. Not great, but pretty good. And then this one, it's in top place in terms of quality. This probably wouldn't be the Turtles film I would go back and watch, like, the most. Like, I would still go back and watch that original film more. But in terms of actual execution of what they're going for, this is the best Turtles film because it's the best written Turtles film. Another thing is that this one is targeted pretty much towards little kids. I did kind of miss that element of the original live-action movie where it's targeted more towards all audiences, more of like a family audience. This one's targeted more straight towards little kids, but if you are okay with watching children's entertainment, you can have fun with this if you judge it for what it is. And overall, yes, it's extremely well done. The Turtles, in terms of their personalities, they are a little bit too kidified. They're more like preteens instead of teens, but I did like the fact that they actually try to present them as actual teenagers, and the voice acting is good. Jackie Chan does a great job as Splinter. He's fun here, and I like the whole message of the movie and the story of the movie, how the Turtles are like really scared of humans. Well, Splinter is really scared of humans because they tried to kill him back in the day and all that, and he's like, I had a friend who was a roach, and one day he got stepped on, and I ate him. That was pretty funny. Overall, I would say some of the comedy in this is a little bit too goofy. It was a little bit too Seth Rogen because he produced this, like April puking or whatever. That was a little much, but I love her character arc, or I like her character arc, I mean, of how she's like pukes like she can't be on camera, and then by the end of the movie she's like does get on camera because she wants to tell everybody in New York that the Turtles are good guys and they're heroes. I like that, and I also like how the Turtles are like watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it's actually the movie showing footage from the real film. They're watching it from like way back on top of a building. It's on a drive-in. That's pretty cool. The voice acting for the other mutants like Superfly, Ice Cube, and everything, he does a great job. Jackie Chan does a great job as Splinter. All the Turtles actors do a good job. They're all fine. They're all fun. I will say that Michelangelo and Donatello kind of get the shaft a little here in terms of their personalities. Their voice acting, stuff like that, and the way they're characterized makes them likable because the Turtles are presented here as like straight up outsiders, and that's the whole thing. Is Splinter is afraid of humans, and then he puts that fear on them and just wants to force them to stay with him and never wants to let them grow up or experience anything in the human world. And the movie does play into the fact that humans are, pretty much scum. They treat anything different like crap. I almost said shit, but yeah, like crap. But yeah, they treat them like trash. And just want to destroy it and kill it, and that's the way humans are, really. That is how they are. And so by the end, though, of course, the Turtles show humanity, prove to humanity that they're not a threat, that they are heroes. And I love the end where the humans, like, it happens a little too easy, the human beings, like, teaming up with the Turtles at the end to help them out, stop Superfly, who's made himself into a giant kaiju creature at the end, because he fell into this vat of the TCRI, like, chemicals, wherever, the mutagen that was being made by Superfly's dad, Baxter Stockman, who created him. Well, his surrogate dad, I guess you'd call it, not his actual dad. He didn't birth him or whatever, or have sex with a woman to create a fly baby. But yeah, they do change some stuff here from the comics and stuff like that that's based off of. That is one thing that may divide some Turtles fans, is that this is really a reboot of the Turtles. This is not an actual straight adaptation of the Turtles. This reboots the property, but And although some things did annoy me, like April O'Neil, I have no problem with her being black. I really don't care. If you want to make her black, if you want to change the skin color of any kind of character or actor, I don't mind, whatever. But my motto is on that is if you want to change something like a character's race or whatever, then do something different with it, you know, to make it stand out. And they do something different here with April O'Neil, but the whole puking thing or whatever, that's not really like April O'Neil. That's when you can change something, and I'm fine with that, but if you change it in a certain way, it kind of like loses the essence of what it is if you change it in a certain way to where it feels a little bit too far removed. And the whole puking thing I didn't really like. The puking gag I didn't like. But I did like how she couldn't like be on camera and she was too tense about it, and by the end she overcomes it to help the turtles. I did really like that arc. That was cool. And another thing is April's just kind of short and fat, and I get that she's supposed to be like a preteen or whatever, just like the turtles and all that, or a teen or whatever, but her look or whatever, like, what is weird about it is when Leonardo sees her, he's like got a crush on her automatically, and he's like, she's so amazing or whatever, you know, he's obviously got the hots for her, and it's like, she's not that good looking. I mean, short fat chicks, they're not that good looking. And I'm not, I mean, I know that sounds mean, but you got to be honest. I mean, short fat girls, they're not going to be that good looking. The short fat men aren't either. Like, certain people are just not that good looking. Personality does count for more, and it is cute and sweet by the end when Leonardo's like wanting to like get together with her and all that, and he asked her to the prom and everything. It is pretty cute, and by the end I did buy into it and I had fun with it. And what makes this the best Turtles films, it simply has the best art for the Turtles and the best drama for the Turtles, because of just the fact that they had the whole story of humans being evil and all that, and the turtles have to eventually, like, they want to come into society, and then by the end they become accepted by society and all that. It's just really good drama. And then by the end they're like going to a regular high school and everything. That was pretty cool. Overall, yeah, it's a 4 out of 4. Awesome flick. Superfly in the movie wants to kill all the humans because they rejected him or whatever, and his mutant posse, and killed his dad too. So he pretty much hates humans, which is understandable. One thing, there are some flaws in the movie, is like when Superfly's like mutant gang and all that are wanting to, they've been helping Superfly through the whole movie, and then the turtles like, you don't have to do this, you can come live in the sewers with us, you don't have to kill humans. And then they're all like, oh, okay. They change way too quick, they change sides way too fast. Like, they got Mondo Gecko or whatever, I think, voiced by Paul Rudd on the team. He's pretty fun. And you got like Bebop and Rocksteady. They all change sides like way too fast from Superfly to the turtles. Like, the correct response to that should have been Superfly saying something like, oh, you don't want to be accepted, you want to go live in the sewers with them and still have to live and hide from humans. So, you know, that wouldn't really be a trade-up. What they should have done is had like some of the mutants like divide in Superfly's gang, and had some of them join the Turtles and some of them join Superfly. Then have it be like an all-out brawl. That would have made more sense and been more logical. I do like the joke that Splinter gets like a girlfriend by the end. He's like a mutant cockroach or whatever, named Scumbag or something. That was kind of funny. But yeah, by the time you get to the end, overall, this is an awesome kids flick. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's the best written Turtles film. None of the Turtles scripts for these movies have been masterpieces. But as far as like Turtles adaptations, the best ones have been Part 1, the original, and Out of the Shadows, and the CGI animated one. Those have been the best ones. And this one joins that. This is easily the best written Turtles film in terms of script. But there are going to be some Turtles fans who have problems with it because it's not a direct, strict adaptation of the comics and all that. But in terms of being a reboot of the property, which is what this really is, it is awesome. Another thing about the whole, like, April O'Neil thing, whatever, about her being, like, short and fat and all that, like, what I mean when I say she's not good looking or whatever, she's not good looking by traditional standards. So it feels weird that Leonardo is, like, crushing on her, like, she's so wonderful, she's so awesome. It's like, he would be crushing on chicks, you know, who obviously teenagers would consider, you know, hot because they're teenagers. That's what they do. I mean, the way April O'Neil looks in this movie, she wouldn't be considered like traditionally attractive, so it doesn't make any sense. If they would have played it in the way where she was like an outsider too, which they kind of do with her whole puking thing and all that, but they don't really play into it that way. They don't develop that much in terms of her being an outsider too. But if they develop that in a way to where that would make sense of, or maybe if like Leonardo saw that she was an outsider before they all went and teamed up with her and everything, like if he would have saw more of her day-to-day life as her being an outsider, and that's the reason he started to grow an attraction to her from a friendship that he started to have with her because they're both outsiders, that would have made more sense. But the fact that he just sees her and he's just automatically smitten, like she's so beautiful, it's not believable. It doesn't work. But yeah, overall, 4 out of 4. This is an awesome flick. But by the time you get to the end, no, you really buy like their friendship and them having a crush on each other, or Leonardo having a crush on her, because by the time you get to the end, you've bought into the movie, and the movie has done a good enough job with the story smoothing its way out to that point that you're like, oh well, it's kind of cute. You know, you're into the movie by then, so you're more okay with it. Well, there's a bonus scene like in the mid credits where they introduce Shredder, who's like the TCRI company's wanting to call Shredder to like back him up. That's another thing. I miss Shredder being like part of the Turtles like origin story in this or whatever with Splinter. I kind of miss that. Like I said, they do change some stuff here because this is a reboot of the property, and it works for the movie that it is. But I still think certain things needed to be kept and kind of integrated in there more. Like they should have had Shredder be a part of the origin story in some way, maybe have him like be a human who was part of the origin story in some way or something, and then later on we find out in the sequel or something that that human actually turned into Shredder eventually, something like that. And when they do a sequel, they got Bebop and Rocksteady who are now living with the Turtles. Like, is Shredder gonna have them as his henchmen like he does in the comics and everything, or are they gonna completely change that? I mean, they could have it to where Bebop and Rocksteady, go to a life of crime and they join up with the Shredder. They could always do that, like even though they don't want to kill all humans now or whatever with Superfly who's gone, maybe they just want to go team up with Shredder, just cause mischief and mayhem. They could easily just do that. But yeah, overall, 4 out of 4. Awesome flick. Definitely recommend it if you're a Turtles fan, but you have to be a Turtles fan who is more open to them doing something really different with it. And it's not a guarantee, of course, that they're doing something different with it, that you'll like it. But the fact is, you have to be open-minded that this is a reboot and they're going a different direction with it. And it's also aimed towards kids. But if you're okay with that and you can enjoy that as a Turtles fan, this is easily the best written of the series, of the movie series anyway. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again.